Here's your sheet. Okay, so you are Elizabeth Lou Moore Westenbarger,
Yes, I am.
and you're going to tell us a little bit about the people, your ancestors, and what you knew about them. And
Possibly.
make up
Possibly.
things you don't know you can just make up.
So, okay, my father's branch first. My father was Robert Wilson Moore, and Grandma couldn't figure out what all to name him, so she asked one of the passing neighbors for a middle name, and that's, my father always thought that was amusing. I thought it was kind of weird that you couldn't even name your own kids, but that was the way my father was. So he's Robert Wilson Moore, born in 1913 in the Plains, married in January of 37, and I don't know where that was. I thought it was in Meigs County somewhere. And he died in Hickory Creek Nursing Home in the Plains in 2001. His parents, okay, Dad was a golfer all his life. He he and two other boys bought their first golf club together, three boys in one golf club, in when he was 13. And so that's the earliest that he could play with his own club. And he played all his life. I can remember at the end of his days when he was just staggering around. I can remember driving by the golf course, the Ohio University golf course, with Dad staggering along, and he carried a light golf bag with a few clubs in it. And he didn't go through channels over there. He just walked onto the course wherever he felt like and played a few holes and left. But he couldn't not play golf. I mean, that was completely impossible for him. But he spent time out at the country club, caddying and so forth, until Charlie O'Blenners or somebody suggested to him that he should go to school. And so he hadn't ever thought about that. So he went to Ohio University and spent some time there and got his degree in accounting at Ohio University in 1938, which was just a few months after his first daughter was born. So, yeah, so that's the important thing, is his first daughter was born.
Yes.
So then he moved to Columbus and went into private practice in accounting, and he spent the rest of his days accounting and playing golf. Mother always said that he did his accounting work to support his habit, which his habit was golf. And so that's what he did with himself. He could have skipped the accounting, I think, if he could figure out how to play golf without, but he had to have that.
Didn't he move to Logan from the Plains so he could be closer to a golf course?
Hmm?
He moved to Logan from the Plains so he could be closer to a golf course. That's what I heard.
Okay. I wasn't aware of that. So anyhow, his parents were Harry Moore, and somebody said something to him about he didn't have any middle name, and so he named himself Hampton, Harry Hampton Moore. He was born in 1881, I don't know where, and he was not educated. He was not dumb, but he did not have an education. He was a smart enough man. He was a day laborer. He picked up odd jobs wherever he could, and until when I knew him, he had been a coal miner. He did day labor kinds of things, but then he ended up working at the coal mine, which there was a coal mine in or close to Athens, to the Plains, where he lived.
Was it Millfield?
I don't know.
So I was thinking that was where there was a coal mine disaster.
Oh,
Millfield.
Walking distance, I think.
But it had to be walking. Yeah, so he was in the plain. He lived in the plains, but he had to walk to work. So it had to be somewhere near the plains.
And he, at the end of the day, he brought the coal mine's mule, which was used to haul the car back and forth, I think, down in the line, but he brought the mule home to his place to feed it and bed it down and so on.
And that was 8 Harper?
Uh-huh.
So he
Well, I don't really know that. He ended up on 8 Harbor, but they lived in a number of different places.
Okay, I
in the
remember the
place.
old barn at 8 Harper. There was a barn there when I was
Uh-huh.
a kid in the 70s that was just dilapidated,
Yeah.
air conditioned as we used to call
Right.
it. And
It could have been there. It
Okay.
could have been. They lived a lot of different places in the Plains.
and your father, I know when they lived at 8 Harper Street in the Plains, he used to garden at some land across the street. And
Yeah, he
would go
did.
and pick corn and vegetables
He
off
did.
of his garden. So he was a gardener as well
Mhm.
when he wasn't golfing.
Right. Yeah. Well, I'm sorry. Excuse
Iceman.
me.
He was an Iceman too, wasn't he?
Oh yeah. He was an Iceman.
Which means he delivered ice to
He
houses.
delivered
and would
ice,
put the
yes.
ice in.
Yeah. I
the
think he was
ice
an
box.
Iceman in Columbus. I don't know.
We were just looking at ice boxes yesterday at Ohio Village.
Ah.
They were telling us the
Yeah, he-
logistics of
He
ice.
would have delivered the ice to put in ice boxes. Yeah. He did whatever there was that he could find a job doing. He wasn't particular, especially after he had a family. Grandma, Edith Blanche Zorns, presumably was born in '82, which was just after Grandpa was born, and in Lawrence County, Ohio. And she lived her life in various places around on the plains, and died in Mount St. Mary Hospital in Nelsonville, it says here. Grandma did a lot of old-fashioned things. I can remember her cooking soap in a big kettle in the yard. So she would have had to
Which is
build the fire under this big kettle, and she was making the soap in her front yard.
just boiling lye and
However,
animal
you
fat.
made soap.
Yeah.
She picked up the recipe from somewhere. I don't know where. But she and Harry had 3 children that lived. They had 3 stillbirths, or children that died shortly after they were born. And they had Uncle Jim, who was 7 years older than Dad, and Dad was a few years older than Aunt Lavonda. And Grandma said that, yes, she had these other 3 children that died, and that didn't count the ones that she got rid of. So she apparently had aborted herself of several children because they couldn't afford to have very many children, but there wasn't any such thing as birth control. So, she had children, and she got rid of them before they were born, somehow or other. I never had any conversation with her about how that happened.
And so you knew her personally, though. You
Knew her
your
personally?
you
Oh, I
your
knew Grandma and
grandparents.
Grandpa, yeah.
Okay. And you would go visit them in the plain. Wait, but it was the McCulloughs that you stayed with during whooping cough, although your Moore grandparents were also just half a mile away.
McCulloughs were at the south end of town on East 4th Street, and Moores were at the north end of town on Harper Street. When I knew them, they lived different places. But yeah, I could walk back and forth from one to the other, and we would be at Grandma McCullough's, but I could walk up to Grandma Moore's, which was done.
And the school was still right there, because we know that building was built in 1922.
Mhm.
And Methodist Church was also there at the corner at that time,
Yeah.
corner of Johnson Road and
Yeah.
682, the Plains Road.
Right,
Okay,
right.
So you walk past both your school and your church
Yeah.
when walking from your
Right,
grandparents' house.
right. And grocery store.
And grocery store.
Yeah. Tipton's grocery store. I would sometimes get a few items shopping for Grandma McCullough.
Where
She-
was this Tipton's? Where was this?
Beg pardon?
Where was Tipton's?
It was on the same side of the Plains Road as the church,
Okay.
and I don't think the same building is there now.
Yeah.
Yeah, Tipton's was on that side, and then later moved to the other side, and I don't know why exactly.
Okay.
So anyhow, Grandma McCullough would have me pick up a little bit of stuff at the grocery store, and Paul Tipton would just put it on the tab. I didn't have to have money with me. So, yeah.
Perfect.
So yeah, he knew who I was. So, Harry Hampton Moore. I thought I had some other Harry Hampton Moore stories.
Probably.
He would say things that Grandma thought were kind of strange, and she'd say, "Oh, Harry." I can hear her saying that. "Oh, Harry."
Yeah, yeah.
So anyhow, I might have something else about them later.
Okay.
But Harry Hampton Moore, his parents were William Warren Moore, born in 1857 possibly, and Bridget Ellen Gallagher, born 1861. Wow, those are just before the war. Yeah. I don't know anything much about them except there's that Gallagher. That's the Irish branch coming along there. William Warren Moore. I knew him. He was alive when I was born. He didn't die until 41, but I don't remember. Great grandpa Moore at all. I don't remember him. But we have a picture of great grandpa Moore, grandpa Moore, Robert Wilson Moore, and Mick Moore. Picture of the four of them. Yeah.
And Mick was a little child.
Well, yeah, he was a small child.
So that would have been 1939 or 40 or something.
40, yeah, probably, yeah. So anyhow, I knew William Moore, but I don't remember him at all. And Bridget Gallagher died way before I was born. I never knew her. John Moore's parents, William Moore's parents were John Moore and Elizabeth Sprouse. And I don't have dates for them, and I don't know when they were born or died. I don't know if I could find that. I probably could be able to research it. I haven't done any research on those things. Bridget Gallagher's parents were Peter Gallagher and Bridget Lavelle. And there's some more Irish jumping in there. And I know nothing about those people. Edith Blanche Zorns, my grandma, of course, I obviously knew her. Edith Zorns, only thing I know about her is one brother who is buried in the Catholic cemetery up here. And that's
When you say up here, you mean on North Lancaster Street?
yeah, that's my dad's Uncle Jim. And I didn't know him at all. Edith Zorns, Harry and Edith lived out there on Harbor Street when I was in school here at Ohio University. And I could remember one time when I was knitting something or other, and I needed to do some crochet decoration things on it, which I didn't know how to do. So I got somebody to drive me out to Grandma's and had her show me how to do the crochet, because I knew she crocheted. I have an apron that she made that's got knitting or crocheting or something around it. And I haven't figured out what I'm going to do with that.
That's called folk art.
Oh, yeah, I'm sure, yeah. Grandma, so I had something to do with that grandma because she was around when I was going to school here. And she didn't die until 1962, maybe, up in Mount St. Mary Hospital. Her parents were Edward Zorns and Delilah Ray. I didn't know anything about either one of those except Dad talked about them sometimes, but I don't have any stories particularly or anything like that. Edward Zorns, my great grandpa, his parents were Andrew Zorns, born in maybe Kentucky, I suppose, and Martha Patsy Burris, probably born in Kentucky too. And I know nothing about them, absolutely nothing. Grandma Moore's great-grandparents, her grandparents and her great-grandparents. Okay, Delilah Ray's parents were William Ray and Julia or something Ray. Know nothing nothing about them. I don't remember my grandparents, my Moore grandparents, talking about their ancestors at all. I don't remember any conversation about them at all, and so I don't know anything about them. Over on the other side, my mother's May Amoret McCullough, born 1912. She was born down along the river in Meigs County or somewhere down there, down along the river.
Back when Charles and Elizabeth lived somewhere on a farm near Long Bottom, was it still
Well,
family?
I don't know
there?
exactly where they lived at that
It
time.
was before they moved to the plains, though.
Yeah, mother was born in December of 1912, and that was just before the flood of 1913.
Okay.
So,
The Ohio River flood you're talking about, not a Hocking River flood.
Ohio River
Ohio
flood.
River flood. Okay.
So the baby, my mother, was in the house. They must have had Joe there too. I don't know,
Yeah.
maybe not.
He would have been a toddler.
It could, yeah. He was 14 months older than mother.
He was born in 1910.
So anyhow, when it rained and rained and rained and rained and flooded, the Ohio River kept coming up and up and up and up. So they took the baby, my mother, and ran up the hill farther, and the floodwater came up and up and up and up and up to take the whole house out. And so then they went back down after the flood went down, and mother died in 1980, possibly.
Yeah.
She was born in 1912 in the Plains, and she died
December
in December
10,
of 1980. Yeah.
1980, I believe.
And her father, Charles Jeffrey McCullough, we got a whole bunch of pictures of Grandpa McCullough and his family. He was the fourth child of a family of 9.
A family of 10, but they lost one.
Yeah. There's only 9 branches. My mother
9
only counted
branches.
9 branches.
Branch 0 never made it anywhere.
Yeah. And Grandma Elizabeth Lou Thompson, she was one of a family of, I think 6. She was, let's see, she was born in 1881. I'm trying to remember. She was one of a family of 6. She had an older sister and an older sister and an older brother and an older brother. And she was the 5th, I think. And then she had a younger sister, Aunt Millie. And I knew Aunt Millie Litton. She was married to a Litton. And she had 3 sons. So my mother had 3 cousins of the Litton boys, John and Charles and Bobby Joe. This is Jack Litton. This is Chuck, maybe Chuck, I don't know, and Bobby Joe. Bobby Joe was when Aunt Ruth and Aunt Jean and I went to the cemetery in Martins Ferry to look for relatives. One of them, Aunt Jean, I think, called Bobby Joe, who lived over in Wheeling across the river, and he didn't want to have anything to do with us. He just brushed her off, and so we didn't see Bobby Joe. I don't know what it was. Somehow or other, he didn't care about seeing this
People
bunch.
bear grudges for a long time.
Apparently, I don't know why. I don't know why. I never knew that, and I don't know if Gene knew why he was brushing her off. So anyhow, back to Charles Jeffrey McCullough. Charles Jeffrey McCullough went to Ohio Northern University, got his degree in pharmacy, and he went, and I don't know whether he opened a drugstore or he worked for somebody else, and was a pharmacist, and he decided he didn't like that, he didn't want to be a pharmacist, so he went back to school at Ohio University and got his teaching credentials. Now, when he was at Ohio University, mother talked about, or I heard about her going to kindergarten on the second floor of Ellis Hall. So he was in Athens going to school when my mother was 5 years old, which would have been 1917.
Yeah, roughly, yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
So anyhow, he went to school at Ohio University and got his teaching credentials so he could teach.
Which he did then.
What?
Which he did.
Yes, which he did then. Yes, he liked to teach.
In Meigs County, mostly?
He taught in
Chester Academy?
Meigs County. He taught in Athens, and he taught in several counties around there. I don't know why.
Because he could get jobs.
Well, yeah, I suppose. Yeah.
But he taught at the Chester Academy, was that one of them? Or was that where he went to school?
He could have. He could have. I imagine he did. I don't know if they've got records of who their teachers were or not. And Grandma went to school in Martins Ferry, high school in Martins Ferry. And when she graduated from high school, she was number 2 in her class. Number 1 got a scholarship to the university. Number 2 got a scholarship to a secretarial school. So that's the training that Grandma got as a secretary.
This is Grandma, you mean Elizabeth?
My Grandma Thompson.
Elizabeth Thompson.
My Grandma McCullough.
Elizabeth Lou Thompson McCullough.
Right, that
Gotcha.
one.
Thank you, yes.
Yes.
Okay.
So
Okay.
anyhow, Grandpa taught, and I can remember them both on Saturday evening studying their Sunday school lesson. I just studied their Sunday school lesson for the next day. Back up to the Moores and Zornses, Harry Moore did not go to church. Grandma Edith Moore went to the little church. I don't remember. Do you know the names of the little churches block over from Harbor Street? She went to a church over there, and I can't remember what church it was. It was some little church. It wasn't Church of the Nazarene. It was some little church, and that's where Grandma went to church.
Yeah, there were a lot of religious people.
Yeah. Grandma,
church-going people.
Both
sides.
Grandma
both of you
Moore
guys.
was religious. Grandpa Moore was not. The McCulloughs, both of them were religious. They came from a religious background. Grandpa, I told you, Grandpa was,
Pretty much all Methodists.
yeah, I think probably.
Okay.
Yeah, Grandpa McCullough was, what I said, the 4th of 9. Grandma Moore was the 5th of 6. And I'd have trouble coming up with all of her siblings.
You meant Grandma McCullough.
Grandma McCullough.
McCullough, okay, you meant.
Yeah, I'm
That's-
reading it here. It says Thompson. Grandma McCullough's was the 5th of 6, and her younger sister was Aunt Millie, and I knew Aunt Millie.
But she was the only one of those 6. She and your grandmother were the only 2 of the 6 that you knew.
Right. I didn't know the other ones. Like there were 2 girls and then 2 boys. Uncle Russ. Can't remember the other one. I have trouble coming up with those. I should be able to. Okay. Charles Jeffrey McCullough's parents were Samuel McCullough and Amaret Parker.
And we know Samuel McCullough was a Civil War vet.
I guess so. He's born 1840.
And he married Amaret sometime during the war. Theoretically, the book says, theoretically he was on leave and came back to Longbottom and married her. But then Grandma changed that story or something. There's apparently some family story about when they got married.
Yeah, and I don't know exactly what that is.
Because we know a lot about, from the book, we know a lot about Samuel, what he did during the war.
Right.
And after the war, because he was stomping around with General Sherman in Tennessee and Virginia and whatnot.
True. He was indeed.
Corinth and other places.
So anyhow, Samuel's parents were John McCullough and Rebecca Rhodes, and I and a couple of my relatives were over in the Martins Ferry cemetery, which is on the side of a hill, looking for John McCullough's grave. Because we had some idea that that's where it was. Weren't you and I doing that once too?
Yeah, we tried to find it and couldn't.
We couldn't find it.
So back on Samuel and Amoret, you never knew Amoret, but
I knew either one. Didn't know either one of them.
Right. Okay. So who was the one? Okay, it was Charles that came to live with you.
Yes.
In Grandview when he was very elderly.
Right.
Got it. Okay.
Right. After Grandma died.
She died in the 50s, or she died.
She died in May of 1950.
50. Okay.
She never got away from there, from the plains.
The plains.
Yeah, you didn't just hop in a car and go somewhere in those days. But anyhow, she got a special dispensation in her mind of going to her high school 50th class reunion. She had graduated in 1900. And she, 81 to 1900.
Right, because she died when she was 68, same as her daughter, May. They both died when they were 68 years old.
Yeah. So anyhow, she went to her high school class reunion in Martins Ferry, and she took ill with something or other and died.
Wow.
In Martins Ferry, Ohio. And I don't think she got to go to any of her class reunion stuff.
Oh, she didn't even go to the reunion.
I don't think so.
Do you know anything about how she and Charles met?
No, I don't.
No stories?
No, I don't.
Okay.
I don't know if
They didn't
Mother's...
meet in college. They didn't meet in high school, so...
I don't know if Mother's got any of that in her book or
How
not.
did she end up in Meigs County from Martins Ferry? I'd just be curious about that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Her parents were John Rutledge Thompson and Mary Anna Fowler. I don't know where they met.
And you don't know either one of them. You never
No,
met either one of them.
I don't know anything at all about them. At all. John Rutledge Thompson, his parents were George Thompson and Elizabeth Wharton, born in 1830. I know nothing about them.
Right.
May Anna Fowler, her parents were David W. Fowler and Elizabeth Hornish, born in about 1832. I know nothing about them. Nothing. Those people. Oh, I think it's Amoret Parker's. Amoret Parker is Charles Jeffrey McCullough's mother. Her parents are Adonijah Parker and Catherine Springer, both born in the early 1800s. And one or the other, or both of them, are buried in a cemetery. Do you remember this, Jane, when we went to that cemetery? Over by the church, over by the that little church over there.
Over there? It was a county.
Where we were going to an ice cream social.
MacArthur?
No, we were going east to the river. There was a church over there. Was having an ice cream social. I think that's where we were there. It's ice cream social.
Okay, but I don't know the name of it.
Okay, but they're right across the street from that church was a cemetery where a couple of my grandparents, great-grandparents, are buried.
Okay. Where's Samuel buried? The Civil War vet.
Where is Samuel
Do we know?
buried?
At the Red Brick Cemetery, I think.
Beg pardon?
At the Red Brick Cemetery in Meigs County, isn't he?
That might be. I don't really know.
Okay.
I have all this down.
Yeah, this is all written down, so we don't...
So anyhow, back up to Zorns. Edith Blanche Zorns. Her parents were Edward Zorns and Delilah Ray, and I didn't know them. My dad might have known somebody. Let's see,
So
1920.
Delilah Ray was Robert Wilson Moore's grandmother.
Delilah Ray
That where we're at?
was Dad's grandmother,
Grandmother. Okay.
and he talked about her.
Mom's mom.
Grandpa talked about her, Delilah Ray.
Okay. That's your great grandmother.
Yeah. Her parents were William Ray and Julia, who knows what. And Edward Zorn's parents were Andrew Zorns and Martha Patsy Burris. And I don't know anything about any of those. Dad might. I have something that Dad wrote that's about some of this ancestor stuff. And I don't know where I've got it tucked away. But I don't know anything that any of these people did. You've got to go back up to Edith Zorns before I know anything about any of them. And Harry Hampton Moore. Yeah, William Warren Moore, Grandpa's father, was around when I was there. But I don't know. I don't know whether he was a laborer or a coal miner, or what. Don't know what. And the Gallagher and Lavelle that were great-grandma Moore's, great-grandpa Moore's. Wait a minute, great-grandma. Bridget Gallagher was Grandpa's mother. And her parents were Peter Gallagher and Bridget Gallagher. And those are the Irish. I knew there was some Irish here somewhere, and that's where they are.
Okay.
They're Grandpa's mother and her ancestors.
So you got mostly the Irish and the Scots.
Yeah.
And then we found out from Dad, he's got mostly Scots, but then there's a German thrown in there. And Fardig, we don't know. Is that German?
Yeah, probably.
So, okay.
The Ricketts, I don't know.
Ricketts, I think it was Dutch, but it might not be. I don't know. It might be English for all I know. Okay. Okay.
So I don't have. I can't think. I mean, I must have buried in my mind somewhere stories, but
Yeah.
I can't. I can't think.
Yeah, I think
dredge them up.
I think it might have been Aunt Jean Berkey, who was your mother's sister, who told me that when she was young in Meigs County, they would walk to school several miles over through just farm fields. That they would go over the hills and over the dales.
Aunt Jean didn't tell you that.
Maybe Ruth did.
Aunt Jean? Her Aunt Ruth?
I think so, yeah.
Oh.
When they lived in Longbottom, nearby, yeah. This is 30 years ago, she told me.
I know that the youngest of those 9 McCulloughs, the youngest ones were, 5 girls were the youngest ones. And
yeah, there's all the girls, yeah.
3 of them, anyhow, rode a horse to school.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
They all on the same horse.
Yeah.
Yeah. They horse pooled.
Yeah, they went to school on a horse.
That's nice.
There's lots more, but it's buried deep in my mind.
Well, you can think about it.
I might.
And we'll add later. Thank you. I will pause this.